What should you know about the next Run the Jewels album? It's harder, it's darker, it's funnier. It's gonna touch you, I think, emotionally and in some places that we didn't even expect. I think that we've added a layer of depth that the times now are calling for. When we were doing it, we didn't understand that when we were getting ready to release this record, that within 3 weeks, 2 black men would be murdered by policemen. You know, we didn't know that shortly after that a young white man would be murdered for having earphones in and couldn't hear the policeman. But we already have music that addresses these things, this Orwellian-like future we seem to be spinning into in this country, where privacy is being robbed and rights are being abused. I'm a strong supporter of gun rights for American citizens. I do not wish to see the Second Amendment repealed or altered. For that reason, I'm a member of the NRA. It's a camera phone. It is your iPhone, your HTC, your flip phone. It is your Canon camera, your Nikon. It is your ability to record. You may not stop the arrest from happening. You may not stop the abuse, but you do have the ability to record. Now, next what's going to happen is people are going to be so frustrated with what they see, you're going to start to see people interject in these things. The civil rights movement worked because cameras were present. People had always heard about the dangers of being in the South, rural Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, South and North Carolina. But until the news cameras landed and they got a chance to see the abuses, people didn't have the sense of empathy that they needed. But I feel that these camera moments that the citizens keep coming up with, whether it's World Star Hip Hop or Cop Watch, once a week you can see a camera moment where police is abusing power. You're gonna see people interjecting in that. You're gonna see mobs begin to pull police off people so they won't kill them. And I think lastly, if the police keep doing paramilitary tactics, eventually someone innocent is gonna be attacked and people are gonna use their Second Amendment rights to defend themselves, which I totally support. He has been the best thing for the African American community because for years there was a ceiling that said, you can only do as good as this. You can become a billionaire, but you can't ever be president. So now that that is wiped out of the way, I feel like mentally, there's just the shackles are off. You can aim for the sky. A black child, my 12-year-old son can fathom being president, where when I was 12, I could not fathom being president. But I don't have an official opinion on our president until I see who he pardons on his last day of his presidency. I would like to see Assata Shakur pardoned. I would like to see Mumia Abu-Jamal pardoned. I would like to see Leonard Peltier pardoned. I believe all three of the Americans I just named, even though some are criminalized, I think they have fought the good fight for all Americans, not just Americans of color or Native Americans, but I think that those people have reached an age and we have reached a time where they should and could be pardoned. Well, I don't think the psyche is truly changed until the people that were at Occupy and the people that are in Ferguson are all in the same place at one time. Because we are fighting for the same things from two different sides of the tunnel, and it's time that we meet in the middle. I was so happy to see that you had monks from India there, that you had a Holocaust survivor arrested today, that you had groups of working class white people holding signs in support, because what it shows is that it's not some isolated event where it's a young thug. It's not an isolated event where it's a black thing. This is an American thing. Our local municipalities and governments are starting to abuse our constitutional rights at an exorbitant amount. And if we aren't fighting this together, no matter what race, creed, class, or color are, if we aren't on the ground fighting this together, all of these abuses will keep happening in pockets like they are. They'll happen like that young white kid who was just killed because he had earphones on. Kid wasn't black. That's not a black thing. That's a constitutional right being violated by a local municipality. So I'm going to be supporting Michael Brown in Ferguson. I'm going to be supporting the family of that child who got murdered because he had headphones on and didn't hear. I'm going to be supporting any citizen of this country whose rights are abused or misused by any local, state, or federal municipality. That's my job as an American citizen.